Hello lovelies, my name's Feta and welcome to Fable Academy, where adventurers old and new learn from the best, but usually the worst. For today's video, we're going to do something a little different. Now, I tell a lot of stories on this channel, but aside from the occasional tangential anecdote or recap of times I ran a module I bought off Etsy for the price of a cup of coffee, they're not usually my stories. But today, they will be. First, I'd like to tell you a little story about when I first started my channel. I posted a few shorts, dubbed some memes, made my first stories, while the algorithm gave me my first free taste of boosted visibility. Then I had a conversation with someone that changed everything for me and my channel. Loot Goblin from Loot Goblin Marketplace. Once the initial Homer Simpson heart attack gift subsided, he sent me a link to a server I might like. And the people in that server welcomed me with such kindness, sincerity, and support that even after just these past few months, I can't imagine what I'd be doing on this channel without them. Everyone in this server was an RPG creator, sharing ideas, giving advice, hanging out, collaborating, and sharing their joys, coming together around a shared love for these games, these worlds, these characters, and an event to give back to the communities that support them. That event, lovelies, is Dungeon Jam. Dungeon Jam is a 5-day event where many of your favorite dungeon tubers celebrate RPG players by pitching their own 5-room dungeons, or 5RDs. 5RDs nuts! The 5-room dungeon structure was outlined by John 4 from roleplayingtips.com, and yes, his name is 4, not 5. I'm sure he's heard all the jokes by now, so let's keep making them. So John 5-1 says that a 5-room dungeon isn't necessarily 5 physical rooms or locations, but 5 story beats that make up a single RPG session or an entire one-shot. Think of it as tabletop's answer to the 3-act structure. Now, as John 2 Squared puts it, the 5 rooms are the entrance, the puzzle, the setback, the climax, and the resolution. It's simple, it's elegant, it's, dare I say, idiot goat proof. Thanks, Johnny 2x4! So that's what I'm doing today. I'm participating in Dungeon Jam to give back to not just the RPG community and the people that have supported me and my channel, but also to thank the community of creators that made me love what I've been doing. And it's also my hope that this video does John 1+1+1+1 proud. Not only that, but I've gone one step further and done my best to write this dungeon as a full-length PDF module which you can download via the link in the description for free. The full adventure does include a lot more details than what's in this video, but I do warn you now, there will be spoilers about the ending, so spoiler alert! P.S. just warning you now, I'm really going to cheap out on the editing for this part of the video and just go voice only for this because I left this all literally to the last minute and I don't actually have any art for all of this, so I'd just be throwing screenshots from Brutal Legend and the Snow Queen at you, and you deserve better than that. Forgive me, lovelies! Now, without further ado, here's my 5-room dungeon, and my contribution to Dungeon Jam 2026. The Frozen Heart of Belphoebia, a 3rd-level adventure. For several weeks, a large swath of woodland has been trapped in a relentless blizzard. The storm has prevented all travel through the forest and cut off all contact with local villages. As the blizzard rages, an expedition is mounted by the fittingly named Sir Lionel Frostwalker to enter the frozen lands that were once his home. Whether their reasons are dedication to their work, commitment to the cause of peace, purely motivated by profit, or a suitable punishment for their crimes, an expedition party is formed and dispatched. The entrance. The expedition party enters the blizzard and sets up camp at the edge of a secluded lake, frozen solid by the unbearable cold. Icy winds swirl around them in every direction, and every tree is a leafless husk, standing like a tombstone out of the feet-deep layer of snow. Sir Lionel reminds the players of their objectives. Discover the origins of the blizzard, put a stop to it once and for all, and rescue any survivors. He is a kind, encouraging leader, joking that the cold may be cruel, but the mission will warm their bones. He bids them good night and returns to his tent, leaving the party to keep watch. At this point, players are also introduced to Greta, an optimistic but naive half-elf cleric who joined the expedition out of compassion and a desire to save the poor souls that might have survived the cold so far. When people first meet her, she might seem sweet, but those that know her, like Sir Lionel, know her to be overly saccharine. But she's nonetheless part of the expedition. If the DM is playing with just 1 or 2 players, she may be a useful companion character to help them in combat, or to help new players keep the plot moving, as long as you don't use her to railroad like I did in my first time! As the night draws on, the frozen landscape proves anything but empty. Out of the snow crawl frostbitten corpses, reanimated and controlled by an unseen master. The ice zombies attack the camp in droves, leading the adventure party to fend them off. The undead are weak and vulnerable to fire, but their numbers make up for their brittleness, and the blizzard does little to hinder them or help the players. Eventually they defeat the frozen undead, and may discover them to be the frozen, animated corpses of local villagers. If the party is large enough, they may also discover Greta among the bodies, or even brought back as an undead herself, her chilling death proving just how vulnerable and exposed they are to the elements and the monsters that hide within them. Worst of all, Lionel is nowhere to be found, his tent in tatters and a long, body-sized trail leading away from the camp until it disappears into the frozen tree line. A trail the party may choose to rescue Sir Lionel, whether out of the goodness of their hearts or to protect their promised payments. The puzzle. Venturing into the forest, the players enter a skill challenge. All members of your party must use your collective skills to find safe passage through the trees, such as survival checks to find the undead's footprints, arcana checks to track their magic, or an animal companion or a druid in wild shapes sniffing for a scent. These are just examples, mind you. The aim is for players to come up with creative ways to use their skills and solve the problem together. If the DM really wants to be cruel, they can add a timer to the challenge, either by considering every X seconds without a check an additional failure, or by giving them a hard deadline for a hard failure. If the players fail enough times, the blizzard picks up even harder and the party collapses into the snow, unconscious. If, however, the players roll 5 successful checks, they're able to find their way through the trees, tracking the undead to their source. An icy, abandoned temple, shrouded in snowfall and guarded by more ice zombies, which they can sneak past or power through. Inside this cavernous atrium sits a large cage which, if the party collapsed in the forest, they wake up locked inside. The setback. But whether they're trapped, hiding, or making a loud entrance, the party observes or is met by a woman dressed in frost-lined robes. She is Belphoebia the Scorned, the necromancer that has summoned this killer blizzard and turned its victims into her personal army. Conversing with her, reading her thoughts, or trying to identify her any other way reveals her intentions. She seeks to sacrifice the party to perform a ritual that will increase her power, enabling her to spread her blizzard across the entire continent and perhaps further. She claims she will not rest until she has frozen the world, just like the world froze her heart long ago. Good aligned characters trying to talk her down, like Greta may if she's with the party, would have a very, very low chance of success, but evil aligned characters might have more success defecting to her side. But a simple cage can be escaped. The player's might is too much for one necromancer, or the elusive party is nowhere to be found. Belphoebia retreats through a secret portal, and the party must figure out how to open it themselves. The passage leads below the temple, into a long, weaving tunnel. The air is thick with smoke and the smell of death, and the echoes of desperate yet inhuman screams pervade the silence. The tunnel leads to a large, occult-looking chamber where the party discovers Belphoebia speaking with Sir Lionel Frostwalker. If they listen to the conversation, the truth is revealed. Lionel was once Belphoebia's greatest love, but when he discovered her talents for necromancy, he led the whole village against her. Betrayed and heartbroken, Belphoebia has made Lionel her eternal servant with an enchanted spike through his heart, which has bewitched him to her bidding but will kill him if removed. Though he is still alive, he is no freer than one of her zombies. Sir Lionel mounted this expedition to bring Belphoebia sacrifices for her ritual. The party. The climax. But now that the party has eluded her clutches and is likely on their way to destroy her, Belphoebia is forced to move ahead with the ritual with other options. She issues a command and her zombies uncover another cage in the chamber. Inside is an inhuman, demonic creature. To those who pass an arcana check, it resembles a Mavawan, a powerful ice demon. but this one is smaller than most, almost juvenile in its appearance and demeanor. The zombies bind the juvenile Mavawan to the post, and Belphoebia bids Lionel to lay on the sacrificial altar, beginning the ritual. Any characters that have allied with Belphoebia may try to fight alongside her or betray her here, but at this point all attempts to talk her down are almost certain to fail, or make matters worse for the party. Hell, if I was running this, I'd have Greta try to melt Belphoebia's heart with a gesture of warmth and kindness, only for Belphoebia to critically wound her immediately, rendering her almost useless. Fleeing, killing Lionel or removing the spike from his heart, or giving Belphoebia enough time to finish the ritual results in a chilling escalation. Lionel is brutally slaughtered on the altar, the Mavawan shrieks and explodes into red mist, and its essence is channeled into Belphoebia, transforming her into an icy, winged monstrosity, half necromancer, half ice demon. The blizzard begins to intensify, and the transformed Belphoebia's only priority from here is to escape. If the party fails to kill her, flees the dungeon, or is wiped out trying to stop her, she will break free from the temple, her power continuing to grow as she spreads her wicked blizzard across the continent. The resolution. As far as ending the adventure goes, the possibilities are many and open to the DM's imagination, but here are some of my favourite options. The party could intervene and try to kill Belphoebia before she completes the ritual, or try to sabotage it by killing the Mavawan. Rescuing, freeing, or capturing the Mavawan is also an option, but it is still a demon with demonic instincts, and it may still grow into a far more ferocious monster if allowed to live. Killing Belphoebia now destroys her remaining ice zombies and frees Lionel from his bewitchment, but with little time to live without immediate intervention, while also allowing the opportunity for someone else to finish the ritual, with the scope for success or failure being left to the DM's imagination, as well as the consequences. But Belphoebia's death, before or after completing the ritual, results in the blizzard coming to an end, the clouds parting as warm sunlight breaks through, the icy curse over the land finally broken. And that, lovelies, is the Frozen Heart of Belphoebia, my entry for Dungeon Jam 2026. I know I went into a lot of detail in this video, but I promise there's so much more in the PDF that I've attached in the description below. Shout out to Leo over at Planar Express for listening to me ramble about this idea and deciding to design the adorable baby Mavawan you saw in this video. Oh yes, look at this little dinky. Who's gonna spread icy fear and doom? You are, yes you are, yes you are! And special thanks to the Dungeon Jam team, Darby from MysticArts, Misty Steps, Migobi, James from DM with a Day Job, and Jason from Enothi Strife, for putting this jam together and creating a really amazing community that I love, and to Loot Goblin for first inviting me to the server in the first place, and proving what anyone that ever plays RPGs knows: one invitation, one conversation, can change everything. So, what did you think of my 5RD? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and check out the Dungeon Jam 2026 playlist, and last year's playlist while you're at it. There's so many amazing creators taking part and sharing wonderful ideas, and they all deserve your support a lot more than I do. Stay magical, lovelies, and I'll see you again real soon for our next lesson in Fable Academy.